It's all covered in today's China Truths.
Excavators tear the land apart, ripping open the soil like giant scars that refuse to heal. Under the blazing sun, chemical ponds stretch out, milky white and the size of Olympic pools, poisoning everything around them. Villagers can only watch in despair as their land's greatest treasure, gold, disappears before their eyes, siphoned away to places they will never see. In their silence, they see billions of dollars slipping from their hands each year, stolen not by poor diggers with handmade tools, but by powerful Chinese corporations. These companies bring fleets of heavy machines, maps so precise they can trace a vein to the centimeter, and political networks strong enough to silence local governments. Locals whisper a chilling name: the Gold Mafia. Every year, over $30 billion worth of gold vanishes into shadowy supply chains, most of it flowing back to China. The cost left behind is devastating. Poisoned rivers, dead soil, abandoned villages, and the wealth ends up thousands of miles away. How long can this machine keep running before the last hill is gone and all that remains are broken lives? Not so long ago, Indonesian villagers mined gold for survival. For generations, they chipped rocks with hammers, carried sacks of ore on their backs, and traded tiny flecks for just enough rice to feed their families. On Lombok Island, in Sekotong, dozens of villagers once scrambled up steep hillsides each day, chiseling veins of rock glimmering with gold. They called it tambang rakyat, people's mining, small-scale work recognized by the government as long as it stayed modest. They rode battered motorbikes loaded with ore, returned covered in dust, and sold what little they found to survive. But other regions were far harsher. On Sumbawa Island, villagers sought what they called the devil's gold. This wasn't just gold, it was sulfur, scraped from the sides of volcanic craters. Sulfur fuels fireworks, fertilizers, sugar bleaching, even gunpowder. To get it, miners tied ropes around their waists and lowered themselves into pits filled with choking fumes. Every breath burned their lungs. Every climb could be their last. Many grew sick, their bodies ruined by the fumes. But still they went back, because poverty left no choice. Along the rivers of Kalimantan, villagers waded waist-deep in muddy currents, swirling bowls in search of specks of gold. Women crouched by the water, scooping silt with bare hands, though the rivers were already poisoned with mercury. "We used mercury before," one woman admitted. "It kills." But it was the only way. Now we try to stop, but without it, we can barely find anything. And in the jungles of Borneo, the struggle grew even deadlier. Men hacked through swamps and dug tunnels with nothing but shovels in their bare hands. These pits, some plunging dozens of meters deep, often collapsed without warning, burying miners alive. "Once we nearly lost our whole group," a miner recalled. "The soil gave way, and we almost didn't make it out. But gold is the only chance we have. Without it, we starve." From the hills of Lombok to the volcanic craters of Sumbawa, from the muddy rivers of Kalimantan to the dark tunnels of Borneo, this is the real face of gold in Indonesia. Sweat, danger, poison, and sacrifice. Small flecks of gold cost lives, while billions vanish into foreign hands. When Chinese corporations stormed in with fleets of machines and barrels of cyanide, the old way of mining vanished overnight. Villagers who once scraped gold from the earth by hand suddenly found themselves powerless. Entire hillsides were devoured in days, rivers turned poisonous, and fields withered into wastelands. On Lombok, one man in Sekotong stood on a cliff, looking down at milky cyanide ponds. His voice cracked. "The rice won't grow, the animals are dying, and no one dares touch the water anymore." Just a few years earlier, families survived with simple tools and honest sweat. Now crushers spin at 160 rotations per minute, massive tanks bubble with chemicals, and the land looks less like a village and more like an industrial war zone. And Lombok is only the beginning. From Sumbawa to Kalimantan, the same shadow stretches wide, illegal mines multiplying like wildfire. The Chinese presence is everywhere. Heavy equipment, mercury, cyanide, and destruction. In Lantung village, a man named Sabadin chips at abandoned tunnels with nothing but a hammer. He's left scavenging scraps from what the Chinese left behind. They take the gold and leave us dead land, he mutters. He remembers cattle collapsing after drinking from streams laced with chemicals, entire herds gone in a single season. The people tried to fight back. In May 2024, anger boiled over and villagers torched Chinese dormitories. But what changed? The excavators kept grinding, the gold kept flowing out, and the government stayed silent. In Kalimantan, things grew darker still. A Chinese miner named Yu, he carved out 774 kilos of gold and nearly a ton of silver, worth $67 million. His network built tunnels more than 1.6 kilometers long, using crushers, smelters, and toxic brews to strip the earth clean. When caught, Yu was sentenced to just 3.5 years and a $2 million fine. But outrage exploded when a high court quietly overturned the verdict. Only after public fury did the judges admit misconduct, giving Yu a token 3-year sentence. Still nothing compared to the devastation left behind. Reports of illegal mines flood the government daily, but corruption and bribes keep the system paralyzed. Police barricades meant to stop trucks are torn down, and convoys loaded with ore move freely under cover of money and influence. Meanwhile, Chinese investors openly flaunt their success on social media, bragging that mining gold in Indonesia is cheap, easy, and virtually untouchable. They arrive with cash, machinery, and political shields, turning entire mountains into private vaults. Villagers like Lalu clench their fists. The gold is ours, but we have no say. There is no justice. And this isn't confined to Indonesia. From the Amazon jungles of French Guiana to the deserts of Africa, the same mafia-like networks spread. What begins as mining spreads into arms smuggling, drug cartels, mercenaries, even terrorist funding. More than $30 billion in gold vanishes each year, most of it funneled back to China through murky channels. Between January and April 2025 alone, over 70 Chinese nationals were arrested for illegal mining in Indonesia. Yet many, once deported, find their way back, because as long as the gold glitters, the machine never stops. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Chinese mining syndicates run illegal operations across provinces like South Kivu. This May, in Mali, a gold mine under Chinese control collapsed, killing 48 workers. The question is, where does all this stolen gold go? According to Davis, a mineral analyst at the OECD, the bulk is smuggled through opaque supply chains into China. Once melted, illegal gold from Indonesia, Ghana, or Congo is impossible to distinguish from legal sources. It slips unnoticed into jewelry, smartphones, and even the gold bars stacked in central banks. For Beijing, eager to escape its reliance on the US dollar, this underground trade is the perfect tool. In 2024, the People's Bank of China secretly acquired as much as 570 tons of gold, twice the official figure it reported. Altogether, China now controls more than 2,800 tons in reserves, but the origins of much of it remain a mystery. Liu Bin, a Chinese Communist Party strategist, has publicly said gold is a weapon for national security. And through its Belt and Road Initiative, Beijing has extended billions in loans across Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia, financing gold projects that are little more than fronts for shadow mining. Behind the glossy rhetoric of investment are sites that pay no taxes, dodge regulations, and operate far outside any oversight. Communities fought back, but Chinese-backed miners proved unstoppable. In August 2024, villagers in Sekotong, Lombok, torched worker camps and expelled Chinese crews from Indonesia's largest illegal gold mine, a site churning out $5.5 million a month. Yet weeks later, the machines returned, trucks rolled, and police barriers fell. Smelted gold from Lombok or Kalimantan slipped back into the global market as clean, financing crime while corporations and banks unknowingly played along. By mid-2025, anger erupted nationwide. Corruption and government indifference fueled outrage as Chinese mafias drained billions unchecked. In Kalimantan, the light sentence for Yu He, who looted $67 million in gold and silver, became a symbol of broken justice. The breaking point came on August 29th, when a young man lost his life during clashes in Jakarta. His death triggered waves of unrest, vehicles set ablaze, stones thrown, and tear gas choking the streets. President Prabowo called off a planned overseas trip, ordered troops onto the streets, and promised cuts to lawmakers' perks. But student leaders rejected the gesture. Our resources are taken, our rivers polluted, our land damaged, while the powerful prosper, they said. This isn't about subsidies. It's about a government too weak or unwilling to defend its people. So who has the power to stop this unstoppable machine? Indonesia's government is trapped, paralyzed by corruption, pressured by rage on the streets, and begging for global support that Beijing refuses to give. From the Philippines to South Africa, gold-rich nations demand China take responsibility, but their cries vanish into silence. Yet the villagers will not bow. With pickaxes, shovels, and sheer defiance, they continue digging and defending their land, even as the odds stack against them. This is not a story of wealth and prosperity. It is a chronicle of poisoned rivers, stripped forests, and communities left in ruins. Gold is said to secure the future, but the question is, whose future? Will ordinary people reclaim what is rightfully theirs, or will China's hunger for gold erase everything, leaving nothing but hollow mountains and shattered lives?
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.